there?
Our bones, our skulls, our babies.
Who doth disrespect our king and sovereign?
Our bones, our skulls, our babies, our people. You destroyed our land. Give us a
Order, calling order.
not my king. You are not our king.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. Wow, that was a lot. This lady, Senator Lidia Thorpe, has just made a big scene. The screeching noises, the lack of self-control makes me think that a lot of people probably don't want her to represent them. I wouldn't want her to represent me on anything. But yet she's in here saying what she has to say about bones and skulls and all sorts of things. And I thought she said phones at first. I was a bit concerned about taking away her phone. But as you can see, this, in my opinion, is not her first time at the rodeo. The way she moonwalked out of there, you can probably guarantee that she's done this before. Let's look at the aftermath of that craziness. We have the camera panning back to Queen Camilla, and it looks like she's saying, a lot of women have tried to take my man. This lady doesn't understand. If Diana couldn't take him, you can't either. No, because you have to wonder if Lydia is just doing this to get attention from King Charles because she wants him. Unpopular opinion as it might be, that's my take on it. Lidia Thorpe wants to have a relationship with King Charles, and the only way to get his attention is to do this, because there is no other reason, there is no other benefit. It serves no one the way she behaved here. Whether or not she interrupted the king, she was very unmannerly. The way she was doing this with her hand, it was very aggressive. It almost warranted a reaction like Wendy Dang. Remember Wendy Dang about 13 years ago, Rupert Murdoch's wife, and how she defended him and jumped to his rescue?
Wendy Dang Murdoch, the third wife of media tycoon Rupert Murdoch, is trending after she leapt to her husband's defense literally during his testimony before the British Parliament. As the chairman of the News Corporation was answering questions about the phone hacking scandal that is rocking his media empire, a protester burst into the hearing room and tried to pie him.
He tried to throw a pie, this protester, at Rupert Murdoch.
Mrs. Murdoch, a former volleyball player, sprung into action, slapping the assailant as he lunged at his target. No one was injured.
That's good.
The pie thrower was arrested, and the hearing resumed about 10 minutes later after order was restored.
Order! Yes, my girl. Listen to me. I only wish Queen Camilla could have done something like that. I can see from the ending here that she was vexed and she was there talking to somebody next to her, explaining like, you know, if I just sock her out, what about that?
Let's fight.
Listen, if this woman gets voted back as a senator, this Lydia, I don't know what is wrong, because she is on the fringes. This was a really bad career move on Lidia Thorpe's part, because I think that at this point she's embarrassed herself. She's embarrassed the community that she represents. They will probably vote her out and she won't get a seat.
The King of England, that he's not the king of this country. He's not my king. He's not sovereign. We are sovereign. To be sovereign, you have to be of the land. He's not of this land.
Not quite.
We have been demanding a treaty for decades and decades. There is a sophisticated genocide going on against my people. We have almost 24,000 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children that have been taken from their families.
So I just want to point out that there's a police car waiting for her. I just think it's funny that the police car is there behind her. But what she's talking about with the children being taken, is this really still going on in Australia? Because I watched Rabbit Proof Fence. That was a really long time ago that they were taking children. So in the movie The Rabbit Proof Fence, it says in 1931, 3 half-white, half-Aboriginal girls escaped after being plucked from their houses to be trained as domestic staff and set off on a journey across the outback. They follow the line of the Rabbit Proof Fence that was put in place in Australia in order to get back to their original homes. Is this still going on? Is there a civil war going on? What is this woman doing? Like I said, It's not somebody you want to represent you if they cannot even have decorum.
We have over 600 deaths in custody with not one officer ever being held accountable or responsible. We have the rape and pillage of our water, of our land.
Hold up. King Charles does not have anything to do with the legal system and the justice system. He's literally just a puppet. He's a figurehead. Everyone loves him. It's okay. In fact, I found it quite interesting that the feedback was that although Australia thought that they would move away from, hosting the royal family and everything after the Queen died, which was so sad for a lot of people, they actually continued to embrace King Charles and the visits and the tours. Now, she's talking about the justice system. Okay, that's one thing. I don't think he can help you with that. But she's also blaming King Charles for the grape, we have to say on YouTube, the grape and pillage of the water and the resources. I never knew you could attribute those words to water and wood or whatever. I thought intrinsically you had to say those words only about humans or villages full of humans or whatever. You can't just throw those words around and then say water. Also, is there some kind of extraction of water and wood and resources out of Australia going to the UK at the moment? Because I don't think so. But we're going to talk about extraction and extradition in a moment, I think. Because I have an idea for Miss Thorpe.
Rape and pillage of our water, of our land. We have mass incarceration and mass suicide rates in this country. How can he stand up there?
Stand up there and do what? She gets these interviews where she gets to continue to talk this nonsense.
He acknowledged, recognised grievances within his speech, and then towards the end of the speech you interrupted him and called him gentle. Why is that the best way to deal with this?
I just did a previous interview, with all due respect, and I did not once interrupt his speech. I respectfully waited.
Question, I'm sorry, I am going to interrupt you because I've only got a limited amount of time.
All right, so basically there's a little bit of argument there about whether she interrupted him or whether she waited for him to finish. It's neither here nor there. The lady has no manners. The point is, she should not be representing anyone. She should not get a vote back in, vote somebody else back in. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to represent this community that she's talking about, and that they should have the right to do so. Also, she put out these crazy tweets, mystery over King Charles post. The senator's latest post comes as she faces heavy backlash for her displaying in the Great Hall with furious monarchists calling her to resign, calling her outbursts embarrassing and so rude. So they go back and find this tweet that she put up. And I come to find out through this that she actually has been at this thing embarrassing her people for a long time. I don't know if it's her people. I'm not 100% sure looking at her whether she is Aboriginal or not. It's neither here nor there. She's representing them. And unfortunately, Indigenous Australian Senator, so she is Indigenous, Lidia Thorpe, BlasCon licensed queen. And then so when she was taking her oath, I, Sovereign Lidia Thorpe, do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will be faithful and I bear true allegiance to the colonizing Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, she said before being rebuked by a Senate official. And then she had to correct it in order to be oathed in. She is essentially going against the sentiment of her entire government, or at least the majority of it. At the end of 1999 referendum, the Republicans split viciously over which system should replace the constitutional monarchy, and the country voted for the status quo. This happened again. The Australian government has indicated that it has put on hold a proposal to hold a vote to remove King Charles III as its head of state. It has a long-standing policy of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to hold a referendum on becoming a republic. I know that referendums are expensive, but whatever the case may be, the government has decided that they want the king as the head of state and as their king. So for her to go against all of that means that she probably doesn't want to live in Australia anymore. I don't know. There are other places that she can live. There are other countries that want people at this time. I would be very curious if countries that offer asylum in these nowadays times would give asylum to Commonwealth members that no longer want to be part of the Commonwealth. Do you think that's something they'd be interested in? Or do you think they'd be like, there are bigger problems in the world? Well, you say that. But Russia needs a lot of people now. Maybe Russia would be interested in taking on Lidia Thorpe as a citizen. I know they're coming out with a draft soon. I don't know. But you are in Australia as a senator. Please behave yourself for the sake of mankind. Let the people come on their tour. One thing that Australia must have learned from this is that they should never entertain Meghan and Harry on their tours. Because if you remember, they went to Colombia recently and they were trying to bring up all this indigenous people stuff, and they were part of that. And they were there so that the indigenous people could say how they were colonized, and they were crying out for all the things that were taken from them. And I wonder if Lidia Thorpe didn't get a bit of inspiration from that. And I think that if she wants King Charles to come to the round table and discuss a treaty, because she seems to think there's a civil war going on in Australia, which is also something I was not aware of, I don't think he should go. Based on how she behaved, I don't think he should sit at any table with her unless it has like the Pope bulletproof glass around him. Girl, he should not sit down at any round table. But I think somebody that would definitely sit at a round table with her is none other than Meghan Markle. Since Meghan was the one to describe the Commonwealth as Empire 2.0. So if Meghan Markle is coming to do her quasi-royal fall tour into Australia, I think that the Australian people should preempt and reject that from now, because Lidia Thorpe will be right up in there embarrassing you again.
But I understand that, it's all about portraying me as an angry black woman. Well, yeah, I'm angry.
Whoa! The cognitive dissonance is real right now. She accuses them of calling her an angry black woman. And then she says, yeah, I'm angry. But then you also have to say, and I'm black. I don't know. I'm very confused. Is she a black woman? This is giving me Meghan Markle vibes because, she doesn't present as a black woman. So I'm kind of confused as to how people would have a bias towards her and call her names when she doesn't present as that character type. I don't know what else to call it. Yeah, so I just wanted to know your thoughts on this. I know I have a lot of people here talking to me from Australia. Please give me your thoughts. Put down in the comments everything you think. Please don't forget to subscribe, press the bell notifications. But before we go, I just wanted to show you something. I was asked by some of you if I could produce some photos of King Charles surfing. There's this one here. I believe it's a Photoshop. And then there's these ones of him actually surfing. I wonder if Lidia Thorpe saw those pictures and she was like, I need this man in my life because he is looking pretty sexy. Thank you all so much for watching me. I really enjoyed doing this video with you. And don't forget to subscribe, press the bell notifications. And of course, like the video if you did like it. It does help the algorithm. And thank you so much for coming back and sticking with me. Love you. Bye.